how do we find the chords of a given melody? For example, this note, how do I know that this chord all have that same note? So how do we find out the options for any chord so we can reharmonize at will? This is in response to a question from Neil, who said, how do we match the chord voicings to the lyrics or the melody? And that is a huge question and a super important skill. So to do this, there's 6 steps, but we're going to focus on number 5, the -2 trick, because it's really, really powerful. And it's the fastest way to kind of cycle through all the possibilities and be able to find exactly what you're looking for. If you look at number 3 there, the next most important one is to change to scale degrees. So if I'm in the key of C, C is 1. So instead of using alphabet soup here, what we're going to do is use scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This way it's going to work for every key and every song. All right, so there's 2 PDFs we're going to use. First one is going to look like this. So if you don't know what the numbers are, you can just look at this and it will have everything for you, right? So you just look at the Roman numeral, it'll tell you, okay, this is a C chord. Here are the ingredients. There's the root, third, fifth. And those black dots there are the fingers. So that's finger 3, finger 2, and finger 1. If I want to go to, let's say, chord 2, see that's finger 4, finger 2 and 1. The ingredients of the D chord or the 2 chord are 2, 4, 6 or D, F, A. All right, so let's check that out now. Here we go. We're going to use an Elvis song, Fools Rush In, because it's really straightforward, really easy, and it really drives these points home. So, beginning first 3 notes are 1, 5, 1. All right. So what chords can go with number 1? And to answer that, let's just take a quick look at the piano. Keep your eye on that 1 there, or the C. And watch how it changes color. Right? So first it's the root, then it's a third, then it's a fifth, then it's a 7th, and then we can keep going. Ninth, right? It could be a 11th, a 13th. And all I'm doing to get that is I'm simply dropping the bass by 2 each time. So as soon as you drop the bass, you make that interval grow bigger. Right? That's 2 notes in the scale, not like 2 frets, right? 2 notes will go, skip the B, go to the A, that same note. Skip the G, go to the F. Right, F, they got the 5th, skip the E, go to the D, now it's the 7th. And usually within the root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th, you're gonna find almost, you have 90% chance. Okay, so that's what I mean by kind of the drop 2 trick. Now, what we're gonna do here, and what this PDF does, is let you just choose a note, let's say note 1, and then it shows you all the possible chords. Now there's 3 kind of areas here. On the left is the diatonic ones. These are the vanilla, the expected ones, super, super smooth. You can't go wrong with these. The second area is the applied chords. These are like your secondary dominants or your tension chords that direct the ear somewhere. And then you have like a dark, mysterious, really beautiful parallel minor. And you can see that the 1 is part of all of these chords. Always start by looking at your diatonic. You can see there in chord 1, it's the root, chord 6, it's the 3rd, chord 4, it's the 5th, and chord 2, it's the 7th. So if we bring it back here, bring the chords in, let's go back to the Elvis song, and I'm going to start with note 1. Well, now I can try chord 1. Next would be chord 6 to try, right? There's the 3rd. Next would be chord 4. Next would be chord 2 with the 7th. So just by dropping 2 mentally, it's really easy to find all the chords. So I'm gonna now think about the song and try to really get a feel for it, and like right away I know that's the right chord. That's chord 1. 100%. That's how the song starts. Next note is note 5. All we gotta do is consult note 5, check out on, go to the diatonic. There are my 4 options. I got chord 5. That sounds good to me. We have chord 3, but with that melody note. Next we have chord 1. And then we have chord 6. Oops, chord 6. No. Here we go. So now we take a run at it and see what we like best. That sounds good. How about 3? For me, that's the one. Absolutely. All right, so just by going to the second choice, we found the chord. Next note is going to be back to the 1 again. Back to 1. Diatonics. We have chord 1. So take a run at it. That sounds boring because I just came back right where I started. So I'm going to try chord 6. Oh yeah, that's the one. Second choice again, we found it. Okay, the next part of the melody. Note 4. So I know it's going to be a 4, 2, 7, or a 5. So 4 here. Go to the diatonic. 4, 2, 7, and 5. So let's try chord 4. All right, that sounds good to me. All right. 4. We could do chord 2. So let's take a run at it. It's not bad. What about chord 7? Chord 7 is usually not a good choice because it's diminished. So. I mean, that's maybe a little bit too tense for us. And then finally, chord 5. Sorry, G. I don't know about that one either. Oh, I really am feeling the 4 there. Definitely. Next melody note is number 3. 2. Number 3. I got 3 minus 2, 1 minus 2, 6 minus. So that could work. What about that sounds more like the song to me. Well, again, you see by the second choice, I've found the chord that works with that song. And then finally, let's just end up on the 2 here. Let's see what 2 has to offer. 2 diatonic. And we need to harmonize that note. So let's try 2. That could work. Then, how about 5? Yeah, definitely. Right? And so you see how easy it is to kind of get through and harmonize any song. You just choose the note, play the chord that belongs to that note, test it out, -2, test it out again, -2, -2. There you have your root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. If you're playing more jazz stuff, then you might go more and try to find the 9th, 11th, or 13th. And like, it's gonna work. If you are not in the key, if you haven't figured out your key, it's actually quite a bit harder because you really have to be able to take any note. Let's say this, I'm gonna be outside of a key here. It's off. And you have to be able to really just pick any note there and say, I'm gonna make that a root, okay? I'm gonna make this a 3rd. I'm gonna make it a minor 3rd. I'm gonna make it a diminished 5th, you know? You have to be able to kind of do that outside of a key, and it takes a lot more work. So really try to figure out your key. This, right? You can sing the song, find the key, and I'm gonna do a whole video on that, but that's usually pretty easy. You can even just look it up too. You'll find it in 2 seconds. Convert it to scale degrees so that you can use the numbers. So no matter what key you're in, it's going to work. And then you have to know when those chords are changing. Here it's like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4. That way you know which melody notes you have to do this process for. -2 trick, and then always take a run at it with the chords that you've already figured out. That way you give yourself a chance to really test it out. And then your ear will tell you that, yeah, that's definitely the. So let me know if that helps. In the comments below, just type PDF, and I will DM you the 2 PDFs that you can do that will help you get rolling with this. All right? Good luck.